Good evening, everyone. My name is Anshit Gupta. I am a expert at Pro Training, hired for MSP sessions. So this is a webinar on introduction to Microsoft project. Today we'll see why we should use MSP, what actually planning is, what project schedule. We'll go into basics of Microsoft project. So before beginning, I'll just have a small introduction of myself. My name is Anshit Gupta. I have worked as Deputy Manager Projects Planning in SPCL for 3.5 years. My areas of expertise are actually project scheduling, tracking, and monitoring. Tracking these delays and catch-up plans, all these things are actually done on MSP itself, that is Microsoft Project. Then projects material management, logistic management, costing, budgeting, rate analysis, formwork planning, and preparation of various reports. Out of these few reports, we used to prepare on Excel, and few of them are being prepared on MSP itself. Then calculating and monitoring project risks and complete risk management. Softwares I am well versed with: MSP, Excel, Primavera, etc. So now we'll begin with the basics of Microsoft Project. So what Microsoft Project is? So basically, it is just a project management software product which is developed and it is sold by Microsoft. It is designed to assist a project manager in developing a schedule, assigning resources to the tasks, tracking progress, and managing the budget and analyzing workloads. See, what basically happens is whenever we bid for a project, whenever we even think of executing a construction project or any other project, may not be construction, but as we all are civil engineers here, so we will take examples only from construction industry. But that doesn't mean that Microsoft Project is not used in scheduling, in IT companies, in big projects. Everywhere Microsoft Project is used. So today we'll just take case studies of construction industry. So even if we think of executing a project, the first two things that come in our mind are: first, what will be my budget? What will be the cost of this project? And second, how much time the project will take to complete. So these two important decisions, on these two important decisions, every project is based. Everything in construction industry is based on these actually three things: cost, time, and quality. So out of that two aspects, cost, budget of the project, and timing, everything that is a complete schedule can be prepared on Microsoft Project. So it is a project management software which helps a planner in preparation of schedules. Then when we prepare a schedule, that is we finalize a timeline of project, then subsequently tracking of the schedule, everything is being done in Microsoft Project only. So to understand Microsoft Project, first we will analyze some basic terms which will help us to understand why we should use Microsoft Project, or rather what is the need of scheduling for a project. So first we'll also see a short history about MSP. The first version of MSP was actually released for MS-DOS in 1984 by a small company which was working for Microsoft. It was not initially developed by Microsoft. Then Microsoft bought all the rights for this software in 1985, and since 1980s, various couple of versions of MSP have been released, and people have been using it throughout the world. In India, basically the use of MSP started from late 2000s. Okay, scheduling is not that old in our country. In our country, we used to prepare schedules on paper pen. So as with the development of computers and with the advance of technology in India, then MSP was introduced to us, but in the world, it has been used since 1980s. So for Windows, that is for our computers, first version came in 1990. And after that, there has been various upgrades. What I am currently using is 2016 professional version, but the latest version available is 2019. And this 2016 and 2019 are the most commonly used versions of MSP. So these are the latest advancements of MSP. Now, to understand MSP, we'll discuss some few small basic topics of project planning. So what actually planning means, what an activity method statement means, what is sequencing of these activities, then finally, what is a project schedule? Our target is to prepare a project schedule via MSP. So what actually a schedule is, then what is project tracking, and then after tracking, what is project monitoring and controlling. So what a project is, basically, a project is a complete process of carrying out work to achieve a predestined result. Okay, that is called a project. A project has various characteristics. For example, a construction project, there is a well-defined objective. Okay, for example, to build a residential small row house, the well-defined objective is that I want to stay in that row house, or maybe I want to build and sell those row house. So profit is my well-defined objective. To build a residential project, contractor's profit is their objective. Builder's profit is client's objective. Okay, to set up residential colonies, to build a commercial complex, to sell those shops, or maybe you to put those shops on rents. That is, so every project, there is a well-defined objective that what you want to achieve via executing that project. Then second thing important about project is that all projects are complex and every project is unique in itself. Okay, no two projects are 100% similar. Then every project has a definite time scale. That is, you have a pre-decided time scale in your mind that I want to complete this project in 1 year, 1.5 years, 5 years. That is a defined time scale. Also a defined budget and a relevance for that project. And fourth point is there are multidisciplinary team involved in a project. For example, in big construction projects, there are a team of 56, 57 or up to 60, 70 engineers, out of which few are planners, few are commercial engineers, few are billing engineers, few are site execution engineers, few are construction managers, one is the few are store people, some are safety, some are quality. So it is a all people are from different disciplines, from different technical background and different specialties. They all work together and communicate together to build a project successful. So this is what a project is. And project has various phases also. For example, formulation phase, that is planning stage. When you just thought of a project, from that till the project starts executing, it is all comes under a formulation stage. Finalizing drawings, finalizing specifications, BOQ, tendering, finalizing the type of contract, every activity that you do before you actually mobilize the labor at site will come under formulation phase. Even planning also comes under formulation phase. Then mobilization phase is what, when the laborers and the contractors start mobilizing, that 15 days, 20 days period when you set up the labor colony, when you clean up the site, when you clean the trees and the bushes, and you transport machinery to your site, you mobilize material, you order material. So that phase is called a mobilization phase for a site. And then finally it's construction and implementation phase. Whatever the time may be as per finalized before, that is the construction phase, when the actual construction work goes on. So this was just a small brief of what actually a project is. Now, what project planning is? Project planning is a discipline for stating how to complete a project within a certain time frame. That is preparation of a schedule, usually within defined stages and with designated resources. That is, you finalize how much resources will be required, also how much time it will take to complete the project. That complete thing comes under project planning. Whatever activities we perform before actual execution of the project, all these things will come under project planning. Then second thing that you need to learn, see these small these, you may think these are the small definitions, but these are the things that will help you understand what MSP is, how MSP works, and why we are using Microsoft project. Okay, so second is, what is activity method statement? It is a step-by-step methodology or guidelines of how an activity will be performed. For example, concreting. First is the guideline. First guideline is what proportion. It is M15, it is M20, it is M30. What grade the concrete is. Accordingly, in that proportion, you will have to mix the cement, sand, and aggregate. Okay, that is the first guideline. Then how much time you should mix, how much water you should add. Then after applying, how much leveling should be done, how much days curing should be done. So there is a complete list of steps. Then this one small activity, that is concreting of a slab or concreting of a column, which vibrator to use, how much time the vibrator should be used, and how much distance you can concrete at a time. So there are various things. These are the small guidelines which will help you finalize what an activity is. Basically, when we enter any activity into Primavera or MSP or any scheduling software, we just write concreting of the column. But there are 100 steps involved in concreting of the column that will decide whether that concreting will take 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days, or you'll have to stop the construction for 14 days for curing. So that will be another activity, curing for 14 days. So to find the actual duration of the work, how the work is carried out, this is the important thing that we need to learn, is activity method statement. So now you have learned two things, that what planning is and what activity method statement is. Third thing is activity sequencing. You have finalized all the tasks that you need to perform in first activity, that is concreting. Then in other activities, how these other activities are interrelated, what is the sequencing. That is, see, I'll take a small example. First is reinforcement time. Then second activity is shuttering. Then third activity is concreting. So the sequence is first reinforcement fixing, second is shuttering, third is concreting. This is the sequence. So activity sequencing involves the accurate identification of constraints, relationships among activities. That is, which activity is coming first, which activity is coming second, which activity is not possible until the first activity is carried out. All these things, interrelations between different activities, is finalized via activity sequencing. So once the sequence is also final, duration of activity is also final, then we will come to the last step, that is project scheduling. A schedule will be prepared once you know first duration of every activity, and second interrelation between those activities, which will be performed first, which will be performed second. Once you give start date and end date to all these activities, starting from day one, that is mobilization of site, when you give start date and finish date to all these things, that prepares a project schedule. Okay, that is the last step. So scheduling in project management is the listing of activities, deliverables, that is the outcomes that you require, milestones within a project. A schedule also usually includes a planned start date and a planned finish date, duration of each activity and resources required by each activity, and also cost of each resources. So when a cost-based schedule, resource-based schedule will be final, a budget, a tentative budget will also be available for you. So that is timeline and budget, both will be available. Effective project scheduling is a critical component for successful time management and successful completion of project. Okay, this was the last step, that is scheduling. Then once a schedule is prepared, R0, that is the first schedule is prepared, we start the work at site. And once the work start at site, see, it is not important to provide a target. See, you provided a target for the project, for the company, that this XYZ residential, commercial, or infra project should be completed within 2 years. I want to complete this project anyhow in 2 years. But that schedule you need to track daily. In every 4 days, every 3 days, every 2 days, you need to track that actually the work is going on as per the schedule or not. And if the work is not going on as per schedule, how much it is lagging behind. So all these things comes part of project tracking that we do throughout the construction phase. Okay, up till this steps, whatever we did in the planning stages. Now we have entered the second stage, that is mobilization, and third, construction stage. Once the construction will begin, work will start. Every day we will track this schedule. So project tracking is a project management method used to track the progress of tasks in a project. By tracking your project, you can compare actual to planned progress. Okay, you have date-wise schedule that, for example, by 18th May, you had planned that first slab should be casted. But at actual, it will take more 5 days to cast the first slab. So this will be your difference between actual versus planned progress. So also identify issues that may prevent the project from staying on schedule and within budget. You will track schedule also, and you will track the cost also. Both the things you will track via project tracking. Yeah, one thing I forgot to ask, whenever I'm explaining something, if anyone has any doubt regarding the same, they can just write the same in the chat box that, sir, please explain this topic again, and I will explain. And once I'm re-explaining that item, if there again there is any doubt, then you can also unmute and interact with me one-on-one, no issues. But I would prefer if the doubts are shared in the chat box. So I will see them and I'll again take up that topic. We'll not move forward. Okay, so this was project tracking. Now, once you have tracked the progress, you have tracked the cost. For example, up till 18th May, you had expected that 25% of your project will be completed. But in actual, from 25%, only 20% of your project got completed. This is the time part. Then when we come to the cost part, you had expected, since the first 25% of the activities were of high cost, for example, RCC, slab, concrete, these are costlier than compared to electrical and plumbing activities, other activities which will happen at the end, even flooring. Those all things are very less in costing compared to the structural part, that is steel, cement, concrete, and everything, shuttering. So, for example, you had expected 25% of the work to be completed, but at actual, only 20% of the work got completed. And as this is the costlier part, you expected that 35% of the cost will be exhausted from your budget, but in actual, 40% of the budget got exhausted. So here you came with two things, that in schedule, in terms of time, you are lagging behind in your project, which again shows your poor performance, your poor planning, and your poor project management. And in costing, instead of 35%, you used 40%. So it says that your cost control, your cost management is also poor. So this is just the tracking part. But what you will do of this data, if you will not discuss this data with your subcontractors, with your management, and you together with your management will not take a strict action against this data, and you will have meetings with your subcontractors, you will try to find out the issue. What is the actual issue, why your work is getting delayed or your work is getting hampered again and again, and you are lagging behind in your schedule. So all those managerial part comes under project monitoring and controlling. Okay, actually making some use out of this data, preparing catch-up plans. Okay, and again controlling your schedule, that comes under the sixth and the last stage, that is monitoring and control. So project monitoring and control processes continuously track, review, adjust, and report on the project's performance. It's important to find out how a project is performing and whether it's on time, as well as implement the approved changes. If you are not doing any changes, you are just tracking the project. So tracking the project is completely useless. You know that you are delaying the project by 15 days, but what you will do of that data until you will not undergo changes and you will not take a strict action? That all comes under the last stage, monitoring and control. This ensures the project remains on track, on budget, and on time. So see, define the activities, sequence those activities, activity duration estimation, schedule is final, then schedule is tracked, and schedule is monitored and controlled. These were the complete steps a planner has to do, and all these things are mostly 90% carried out in MSP, except this part, activity method statement. You discuss with your quality department, they tell you that this things you need to perform while concreting. So on the basis of that, you calculate activity method statement, but all the rest of the things, sequencing, scheduling, tracking, preparing reports for management, then preparing a delay catch-up plan, all these things are possible on Microsoft Project. Okay, so that's why I taught you just things to get a brief of our Microsoft Project. Now we will actually enter into Microsoft Project. So when you guys will open the screen of Microsoft Project, that I will come to in the next part, there are four type of linkages in Microsoft project, that is A activity and B activity. What we saw here, activity sequencing, that is reinforcement fixing, shuttering, concreting, etc. These are the three activities. But what is the linkage between them? So MSP, why project planning in MSP, we use four kinds of links between these activities. First is finish to start. That is this F, it is denoted by FS. We need to learn these things to even start typing in MSP. Okay. So this is the basic of MSP, the relations between the activities. First is finish to start, that is FS. Second is start to start, that is both the activities start parallelly. Third is finish to finish. And fourth is start to finish. These are the four types of relations that are being used in Microsoft project on everyday basis. We cannot prepare a schedule. We cannot think of using MSP if we don't know these. This is the first basic concept of MSP. Now we'll see all the four in detail so that we can understand them better. First is the most common relationship, finish to start relationship. That is, until and unless activity first, A activity is finished, you cannot start with second activity. Okay. For example, until both shuttering and okay, for example, until activity A, that is shuttering, is 100% complete, you cannot start with concreting. Okay, you cannot start pouring concrete unless shuttering has been completed. Where you will place the concrete, how you will give the shape to the column or the slab. So that is a finish to start relationship. It can only start after the shuttering has been completed. So when you will see the graph, the Gantt chart in the MSP that we will see later, this type of relationship FS is represented on Gantt chart like this. This is the start end, this is the finish end, this is again the start end, this is the finish end. So the finish end of activity A has been linked to the first top, start end of activity B. This is the most common relationship that we will see in any construction project. This is finish to start relationship. Again, I'll repeat, if anyone has any doubts, they can just type in the chat box. Okay, this was the first kind of relationship. The second relationship is start to start relationship. Okay, this says that activity A and activity B can start simultaneously. This is called start to start relationship. That is, for example, I moved to a project on first day. So first day itself, I started making the labor colony. I appointed one subcontractor and he started building the labor colony. And on the very same day, I finalized a JCB. I got an JCB for the site. I started marking, surveying, and I started excavation. So at one part of the site, in part B of my site, excavation is going on. And in one site, labor colony, making of labor colony is going on. So in this example, both the activities are start to start. So when I'll prepare a schedule, if we want to shrink the schedule, we want these activities to happen parallelly, then I will use this start to start relationship between both of them. Third is finish to finish relationship. That is, both the activities A and B will finish simultaneously, no matter when they started. Maybe this activity started on 17th of May. Maybe this activity started on 10th of May. That doesn't matter. But both the activities will get finished today. That is on 18th of May. This is called a finish to finish relationship. And this is this is the start part of the activity. This is the finish part. This is also the start part of the activity. This is the finish part. So it is linked like this. This shows finish to finish. Finish, and this shows finish to start. Okay, these things may sound confusing in the start, but once you start using MSP, then this will be the most easiest part of using MSP. That what kind of relation you must have to enter into project planning. You must have minor technical knowledge. Okay, if you don't have this technical knowledge, that first reinforcement will be erected, then shuttering will be done, then concreting will be done, then we cannot use this tool MSP. To use this tool, a basic knowledge of civil engineering is a must, but only a small basic knowledge. That doesn't mean you should be an expert, but a basic knowledge is must. The last kind of relationship is start to finish. That is, activity A will start when the activity B will finish. Both these things will happen simultaneously. This will start and this will finish. That is called a start to finish relationship. For example, my activity B is door frame fixing and my activity A is window fixing. So I want the same contractor is working on doors also and is on working on aluminum windows also. So he tells me that, sir, once I will finish with door fixing, then only I will start at the very same day I will start with fixing windows in your project. So this will be a start to finish relationship, SF between A and B. This is represented by this symbol. So these were the 4 types of relationships that we will use while using MSP or while preparing a schedule on MSP. Now, again, to prepare a critical part, to prepare a baseline, these are some of the activities, these are some of the terms which we will be using on MSP every day, hundreds of times whenever we will be studying MSP. So these are again few terms that we need to understand. Sir, explain finish to start one more time. Yes, I'll do, no problem. See, in finish to start, how to represent a condition when B activity starts if A activity is half completed. Yes, see this half completed, we will just see right now when I will teach you these terms. What is lead, lag, float, slack. After I'm done with these terms, then I will explain what this second doubt is about the half activities, because then you will be more easily able to grasp it once we have learned what a lead and lag is. So just hold on to this doubt. I will explain after 5 minutes. First, I will explain this finish to start relationship again. So the 4th kind of linkage is, okay, you asked finish to start or start. Okay, you are asking the first one. See, finish to start is the most common of the activities. Sorry, okay, you were asking the last one only, start to finish. Okay, I'll start to finish. Yeah, start to finish. Okay, see, it is the complete opposite of the finish to start. This says then when activity A will finish, activity B will automatically start. That is, once you are done with excavation, then second activity PPC concrete will start. But this is completely opposite. It is saying that once B activity is finished, then A activities will start. Okay, for example, see this I'll explain again, but 100% idea you will get when we will prepare a schedule. Okay, right now it will be a little confusing for you. So it is just the opposite of the first one. For example, flooring is going on in my flat. Okay, so I know that flooring, the second activity will be fixing of the door frames. So once activity B, that is my flooring, is finished, I will again come back to activity A. See, this happens when, for example, first activity you wrote in the schedule. In schedule, you wrote first activity is flooring and you wrote second activity, that is B activity, is door frame fixing. Okay, so now you will have to give this second relationship, start to finish. But if in your schedule you had written first door frame fixing and second flooring, then the relationship you will have to use is finish to start. If there are still any minor confusion left, you will learn it when we will prepare a schedule. That time you will be more able to understand what I'm actually trying to say, because these two are completely opposite of each other. So it is actually a little bit confusing. Okay, now I'll okay, got it. Okay, so now I'll get to these terms. Yeah, thank you. What is a predecessor activity? What is a successor activity? What do you mean by lead? What do you mean by lag? Okay, what is float or slack in a schedule? So now these are the terms we have entered into core scheduling now. Okay, what is a critical path and what is a baseline? When we will prepare, we will at the end calculate everything, that what is the float in the project, what is the total float in the project, what is the critical path of the project, what was the first baseline finalized. So all these terms we will use again and again. That's why we need to understand the basic meanings of these terms and few basic definitions, theoretical part of these terms. So what is a predecessor and successor activity? See, the activity which happens first, that is activity A, is called a predecessor activity because it is happening before activity B. And as activity B is a successor for activity A because it is happening after activity A. See, you can see the arrow. Okay, this is finish to start relationship. Activity A finishes, activity B starts. So activity B is successor to the activity A, and activity A is the predecessor to the activity B, because this is happening before B and this is happening after A. So whatever comes after is called a successor, and whatever comes before is called a predecessor. This is the basic English. There's nothing related to MSP. This is just basic English. Now, again, coming back to your doubt, sir. First, I'll explain what lead and lag is. Okay. See, this FS is an ideal relationship. For example, I will tell you, I finalized the JCB contractor from day one, that is from tomorrow. For example, my site is beginning from tomorrow. From 19th May, JCB is mobilized at my project. It started excavating, and okay, and the duration of excavation was 5 days via one JCB. So after 5 days, the 6th day activity B should. Okay, but if the base of the excavation is loose, or you want to compact the excavated soil, okay, you know that there is some minor activity in between both the activities. That is called lag. That is the gap that comes between two activities. This says FS plus 2 means activity B will start after 2 days the activity A is finished. That is called FS plus 2. This 2 days gap is called lag between these two activities. Okay, so sometimes technically it is impossible to overcome this lag. For example, if you are constructing just one house or just one floor building, okay, that building has just one floor, or the building is a commercial complex, shops of single floor. So what will happen is, when you will cast the first floor slab, okay, technically as per our IS codes, you have to do 14 days curing of that slab, and only after 14 days, and in some cases after 21 days, you are allowed to de-shutter. That is, or 21 days, you cannot de-shutter the material. So you cannot start the finishing activities below that slab. You cannot start with the flooring. You cannot start with the plaster, because there is no place to even stand. Okay, the shuttering material, that is the props or timber, plywood, etc., is there, which is creating a hindrance. So technically, when I will say activity 1 is completion, that is concreting of slab, and activity 2 is beginning of plastering, I will write it that FS plus 14, that is finish to start plus 14 days. Because technically it is not possible for me to start activity B until without giving this gap of 14 days. Okay, so at that places, there will come a time when things like lag will be used. This is called lag. In the same way, when activity B will finish, will start 2 days before activity A. That is, see, the normal relationship between these two was that activity A will finish and then activity B will start. But in real life, due to technical reasons, to crush the project, to reduce the time of the project, I started activity B before 2 days, when activity A got finished. So this gap is called as lead. This is complete opposite of lag. I will give you again one. For example, again, we'll come back to that project only, the one floor commercial complex that we are building. So suppose the complex is 1400 square foot. Okay, so in one day, the project total consists of 20 columns. In one day, you are able to tie the steel. The fitters or the fitter gang which comes at your site, the fitter contractor, he erects the column. That is, he raises the reinforcement of the column. They erect 5 columns per day. Okay, so that my activity A, that is reinforcement work completion for columns, total will take 4 to 5 days. Okay. It will take 4 to 5 days to erect all the columns of the project. But since every day 4 to 5 columns are getting erected, so after 2 days or 3 days, I can start with the activity B, that is shuttering of the columns. These two activities for 2 days can be carried out parallelly, because out of 20 columns, reinforcement of 10 columns is already completed. So you can start with shuttering of those 10 columns. Once you will complete the shuttering of those 10 columns, again, the next 10 columns will be completed, and you can start with shuttering of those 10 columns. So for 2 days, these two activities A and B are happening parallelly, but only for 2 days. The relationship is still finished to start, but since the quantity of both of them was more, so both can be parallelly by doing half or by doing 25%, they both the activities can be started parallelly now. So this kind of thing is called lead. This was lag and this is lead. Now I will come back to your the other doubt which was there. How to represent a condition when B activity starts if activity A is half completed. See, this you can either see if the duration of activity A was total 4 days. Okay, and activity B is starting after 50% completion of activity A. That is, before out of 4 days, there is a 2-day lag between two activities. So you will here mention the task link as FS minus 2. That is FS minus 50% of activity A. That is, while 50% of activity is being performed, the next 50% of activity B will parallelly happen for these 2 days. This 2 day is actually 50% duration of activity A. Okay, so that is a typical example of lead. I hope I am clear on that doubt now. Just a second. Yeah, so that was an example of lead, the doubt which was being asked. Now I'll proceed. Now what is float? Okay, see, free float. First is free float, the maximum amount of delay time that will not affect the start time of the successor activity. Okay, see, free float is, for example, the maximum time you can delay any first activity, any XYZ activity. For example, if first activity is ending on 18th and due to some reason other activity is being started on 21st, there is a gap of 2 days. So these 2 days, even if the first activity which was actually scheduled to get completed on 18th gets completed on 20th, gets delayed by 2 days, and even after that also you are able to start the other activity on its original date, that is on 21st. These 2 days will be known as free float for this activity, for first activity. That is, again I will read, maximum amount of delay time that will not affect the start time of the successor activity. No matter how much you delay this activity, but if you had planned that its successor, that is activity B, was to start on 21st and it actually gets started on 21st, then whatever time the activity A was delayed will be called as free float, because it actually did not affect the activity B. That is called free float. And what is total float? Maximum amount of delay time on a task that will not affect the overall project duration. Okay, this is the maximum amount of delay which will not affect the successor activity, and this is the maximum amount of delay that will not affect the second one. That is, it will not affect the complete project duration. That is, if you had finalized that this XYZ row house was to be completed within 1 year, and out of that 1 year you had given example 10 days for excavation. So out of took 13 days, but still you were able to complete the project in 1 year. So those extra 3 days will be called as total float, or the maximum amount of delay time on a task that will not affect the overall project duration. Even after delaying one activity, you were able to complete the complete project in the specified time. Okay, these are free float and total floats. Now, what this critical path is and what project baseline is. Okay, these will be the two things that we will be every day calculating in MSP. If you are a planner, or you ever get selected in a planning profile, then preparation of critical path and preparation of project baseline and revising this baseline are the most important things that you will have to carry out on MSP. So what is a critical path? Any delay on this path will project. Okay, see, this is when you prepare a complete schedule. A schedule has 50-60 activities. Out of, for example, those 15 activities are not that critical to that project. Okay, that is, for those 15 activities, if those 15 activities each are delayed by 1, 2 days, 3 days, then also the project gets completed in the specified times. So those are known as non-critical activities. But those activities, even if they will be delayed by half day, then the whole project will be delayed by half day. Those are known as critical activities. So any delay on this path, and this complete path linking all the critical activities, is known as critical path. I'll show you guys and how this critical path is displayed on the MSP in the next after 1-2 slides. The next topic is that only. So any delay on this path will delay the complete project. Okay, first, I hope you guys understood what a critical path is. Linkages between the critical activities are known as critical paths. There can be more than one critical path for a project. There is no tolerance on critical path for delay. That's what I told you guys in my example. Even if a single activity is delayed by 1 day on the critical path, then the whole schedule will be delayed by 1 day. Okay, so throughout planning and monitoring and control, our main part is to control this critical path rather than focusing on non-critical activities which are not actually affecting the schedule of complete project. Our main focus is focusing on the critical path. Okay, see, even if these things are confusing for you theoretically, but when we will use MSP practically, then these things will be cleared to you within minutes. It may be little difficult for some of the people because it is just the theoretical part right now. So slack or float on all the activities in a critical path is 0. See, float is delay that does not affect the project, but we know that all the activities on critical path are critical activities, and if they get delayed, then whole project will be delayed. Therefore, float or free time on these activities on critical path is 0. Okay, float on all the activities on critical path is 0. Now, last theoretical topic of today is project baseline. Okay, the baseline in MSP, Microsoft Project Management, refers to the first version of the scheduled project after approval on the draft version, that is timelines, cost, resource, and scope. I'll explain this in simple English. Once you finalized the project, the first duration that you prepared or the first schedule you prepared, that my project will start on 20th May 2021 and my project will end on 19th May 2022. That is my project 365 days. So this timeline that has been finalized via your first schedule, this will be known as project baseline. And these two will be known as baseline start date and baseline finish date for the project. 18th May 2021 is the baseline start date of the project, and 17th May 2022 is baseline finish of the project. Okay. And then same is with the cost. The budget that you finalized with the first schedule, that I will complete this project in 1 crore or whatever XYZ finalized amount, that will represent your cost baseline. This will be your time baseline, this will be your cost baseline, and another will be your resource baseline. Okay, how much resources that every day, in this month, today I will require 15 carpenters, tomorrow I will require 14 carpenters. All these things, resources that will be utilized daily, day by day, that is known as resource baseline. Then is the scope baseline, which is the daily what works are to be performed quantity wise. So baseline usually stored the project start and end date, timelines, that is duration of the project, planned and budgeted cost. Okay, what is the use of a baseline? Baseline helps to track and monitor project with current project with timeline. See, if you are doing the timeline calculation for a project, on 50th day, on 80th day, anytime you want, you can calculate that as per my R0 project baseline, by 50th day, this work should have been done, or 30% of the work should have been done, but actually only 28% of the work is completed. So 2% work I'm lagging behind. You can easily calculate via project baseline. Also, you can revise these baselines if you want to incorporate any changes in the schedule. All these things we will see in detail, but this is the theoretical part of baseline. See, now this is a screenshot that I have attached of Microsoft Project. This is how a screen of Microsoft Project looks like. This is just Excel-like tabs, that is file. Okay, the formatting is like Excel, but it is completely different. The tabs here are file, task tab, resource tab, report tab, project tab, view tab, format tab. These are the list of activities or tasks. Then floats, duration of the activities, estimated start date, estimated finish date. Then via tracking, actual start date, actual finish date. Then this is the R0, that is R0 first finalized baseline. Okay, baseline start, baseline finish. And then this is the, see, this is known as Gantt chart. All the activities that you write here in the Gantt chart view, this comes in the table. And see, here is a calendar. Date wise, this activity 1, 2, 3 are being displayed. The interconnection is visible, finish to start, start to start, finish to finish. Duration of this, every activity is being displayed. And see, the red color is the critical activities, and this is the critical path of the project. And this other activities are non-critical to the project. This is the critical path. So this was the screen. This was just a screenshot of MSP for explaining. Now I will actually stop this screen share and open the MSP, and I'll show you the basics of MSP, how MSP is used, etc. I'll just stop this presentation. Yes. So when I hope the screen is visible to everyone. So whenever we click on Microsoft Project, this is the template that gets open. Okay, by default. This is an option here for a blank project, that is to start a project from scratch. This is new from existing project. For example, we have already an existing project and you want to edit it now. Now here is new from Excel workbook. Okay, you can prepare a schedule on Excel and then import it to MSP and then do the corrections. This is importing a file from Excel. This is importing from SharePoint. Now there are also some templates, see like this, for easy or to help people if they want to do a typical time kind of task. For example, see, a template for residential project is there here. Then a software development plan is here. Then to create a budget, it is here. Then a commercial construction, it is here. Now, earned value analysis, market research schedule. So it is just a template schedules that MSP is showing you just to give you a gist of MSP, and maybe these templates are helpful for you. Sir, the last line of critical class slide, please exit once more. Yes, no problem. Just a second. Yeah. See, to understand the last slide, that is slack and float, slack or float on all activities on a critical path is 0. Okay. So I'll tell you what it is actually. All the activities on critical paths are critical activities. Okay. Those are those activities, if they are even delayed by a single day, it will delay the complete schedule, which is just the opposite of float. Float is maximum amount of delay time on an activity that will not affect the overall project duration. But float or slack on every, it will not be called a critical activity. It is being called critical activity when, if it is delayed by a single day, it will delay the complete project by that one day. So therefore, float or slack is 0 on all the activities in critical path. If the float or float or slack was 1 or 2, that is, then there was a 2-day gap. So it will become a non-critical activity. It will not be called a critical activity. The definition of the critical activity itself says that the gap should be 0, and any activity which, if it is delayed by even single day, it will completely delay the whole schedule. Free float or total float or float on every activity in the critical path, that is critical activities, will always be 0. That's why it is called critical. If it would not be 0, then this will come under non-critical activities. Now I hope that this point is clear to you, and I'll again move forward with the MSP screen. Yeah, so this is the few templates that MSP has given. For example, we click on this commercial construction. Okay, so it is asking what is the start date of your project. Is your project, so maybe my project starting from this Monday 25th and 24th, and I click on create. See, automatically a project has been created. Okay, these are templates. These will be rarely useful to you. Okay, we will create our own schedules. See, this is called a timeline. Date wise, it is showing everything, what activity is being carried out on which date, which resources are being utilized, everything. These are the list of activities, durations, start date and finish date of each activity, and resources being utilized by every activity. And you can also add column, and there are thousands of options. Okay, 9, 10 baselines, deliverables, everything. actual work completed, percentage work completed, actual cost, actual duration, actual finish. We'll learn all these things in detail, but that will take time. This is the Gantt chart view. See, date wise, all this activity and their linkages, finish to start, start to finish, everything until the schedule is going. Since there also this Gantt chart is going. Plumbing contractor, all the resources are also required when. So this is the template. Now we will start with a blank project. Okay, see, this is how the screen will be visible to you when you will start working in MSP. These task modes, task name, duration, start date, finish date, predecessors, and this Gantt chart view and these tabs. Okay, so as the theory, I completed most of the time in theoretical part. Now I'll just go a little bit faster. So first we will on a blank project. First you check like what we do in AutoCAD. Okay, first in AutoCAD we used to check for the units of measurement, etc. Here also in the same way, before starting with the project, before doing anything in the project, first we will check the settings, and we will put the settings as per our requirement, our company's requirement, or what kind of schedule we want to prepare. So we will, first thing we will go is into file, we'll go into options. So this window will appear. All these settings we will change as right now. Okay, so first are the general settings. Screen type style, okay, this is as per whatever you want. See, default view is Gantt with timeline. So we will always keep this as default view. This is the Gantt chart portion, graph portion, and this is called the timeline portion, where task, duration, start, finish, everything is there. So this we will always keep as Gantt with timeline view. Date format, what kind of date format you want? This is as per your country and as per your company's requirement. Okay, what kind of date will be easy for you to enter? Then your username, that is mine is Anshit Gupta. Okay, official background, what kind of color you want, etc. Office theme, colorful, dark gray. For example, I want dark gray, and I'll put it okay. So now this is the dark gray thing. Okay, now I change the general settings. Now I will come to display settings, calendar type. First, now from here, actual MSP starts. Okay, calendar. What kind of calendar we want? Georgian calendar, Hijri calendar, or Thai Buddhist calendar. See, all over the world, Georgian calendar is being used. We are living in that era where Georgia use Georgian calendar. We right now don't use Thai calendar or Hijri calendar. So this will be always be Georgian calendar. Now, currency options for this project, the file that I have created, project one, what is the currency option? So by default, it is in USD, but I converted it into INR, that is Indian National Rupees beforehand. That's why it is showing INR here. Select that, yes, INR, that is Indian National Rupees. This is our symbol. Placement is like this: 1 rupee, rupee 1, or what, like rupee 1 up to what decimal digits? Up to 2 decimal digits. I want it to be accurate. Then show indicators. Yes, we'll show indicators for everything. Now the most important settings that you need to remember, or everyone needs to write down or remember by heart to start with Microsoft project, is scheduling settings. Name of the project, it is currently project one because I have not started anything. Work week starts. It again depends from country to country. If you are working in India, the work week starts from Monday. Sunday is our holiday and our week is assumed to start from Monday. In countries like US or European countries, work week in their calendar starts from Sunday and ends on Saturday. First day, Sunday is holiday, but their week starts from Sunday. But in India, work week starts from Monday. So we'll put this as Monday. Financial year starts in, see, now I don't know you guys know or this or not, but 90% of the people know that financial year in India starts from April and ends in March. So fiscal year starts in, we'll put it as March. Use starting year for financial numbering. Yes. Okay. Now default start time and default end time. See, this depends on which company you are preparing your schedule for. Okay. If at your site, the work starts from 9 a.m. So you will always keep the setting here at 9. And we are assuming currently that the project we are making, currently we are assuming that the work goes on for 8 hours every day. Okay, plus 1 hour for lunch. That is from 9 to 12, 3 hours, 12 to 3, 6 hours, 3 to 6, 9 hours. Okay, one hour, 1 to 2 is lunch break. but hour lunch, total 9 hours. So work stops at my site at 6 o'clock. So hours per day I am working is 8 hours per day. Hours per week. Now I assume that Sunday is a holiday, which is hardly Sunday is a holiday in our countries, but we are assuming for this schedule that we are preparing the schedule for an MNC, for a big company, where work goes on for 6 days, Monday to Saturday in a week. So 6 days into 8 hours daily. So hours per week, work goes on for 48 hours. Now days per month, if we deduct even 5 Sundays every month, then work goes on for 25 days. So here I am putting on an average 26 days. Some months there are 4 Sundays, in some months there are 5 Sundays. So I am putting this setting as days per month. 26 days are working, 48 hours per week are working, and 8 hours per day is working, and I'm working from 9 and ending at 6. This was the basic schedule setting. Week starts on Monday, year starts in March. Now show assignment units as percentage or decimal. So we will use percentage because we'll always show how much work we have completed. 50% work, 40% work. So there, when you will enter 40, it will automatically take it as 40%. So all these things are requiring percentage. So I will keep it as percent. Now, new tasks created, manually scheduled or auto scheduled. Now coming back to another major concept in MSP, that what is the difference between manually scheduled and auto scheduled. See, manually scheduled is that activity which does not care about the task links between two activities. For example, if activity A and B both are manually scheduled, then they will not respect or they will not care about the task relationship, that is finish to start, start to finish we have entered. Okay. For example, if activity A is finishing on 18th, then the date of activity B will automatically will not come as 19th until you will enter it manually. Okay, the dates, start date and end date, will not respect what actually you have, what linkages you have kept between the two activities. But auto scheduled is that activity which as per links. For example, I am finishing my activity A today, and the relationship between A and B I have kept as FS, that is finished to start. So automatically the date of activity B and MSP will come as 19th of May if it is not a Sunday. Okay, because here you have entered Sunday as a holiday. That is the difference between manually and auto scheduled. So we will always keep it on auto scheduled because manually activity schedules are useless. You need to prepare a schedule, you need to give sequencing, you need to respect the linkages. Then only you will come to calculate the critical path and the total duration of the project. If the dates are not interlinked, then preparation of schedule is useless. So we'll always keep it on auto schedule. Now, auto schedule tasks to start. This does not matter. Duration is entered in. We'll always enter duration of the activities in 7 days. That is, concreting is going on in 1 day, or reinforcement fixing is taking 3 days, 4 days, etc. Work is entered in hours, or work is entered in minutes, days, weeks, or months. Okay. In India, we always enter work in days. Okay, concreting it is taking 1 day, etc. Now, default task type. This is a setting that you will understand when we will prepare a schedule. We will prepare actually 2-3 kinds of schedules. So what thing you want to keep fixed quantities. Okay, that is quantity of the resources, and that you want to keep fixed duration. That is, you want to keep fixed duration. That is, it doesn't matter that concrete you have to do is 10 m cube or 15 m cube. Once you have entered duration 1 day, that means the concrete should be completed in 1 day. It doesn't matter that whether it was 10 m cube and it became 15 m cube. The duration will not increase, the MSP will automatically will not increase the duration of the activity if you have kept the duration as fixed. So now prepare in MSP will have fixed duration schedules. Hardly fixed units or fixed work schedules you will be required, at least in India. Okay, so now we'll keep it on fixed duration. Then new tasks are effort driven. So these are the 2 types of schedules that we prepare via MSP. First is without this setting, that is without ticking on this effort driven. This means that whether the quantity changes or whether the resource changes. For example, concreting was only be able to complete it today if there were 10 people for concreting, but unfortunately from planned 10 workers, only 5 workers came for concreting. So your actual general knowledge, technical knowledge says that now time will be double. Apart from 1 day, now you will require 2 days because your resource has been reduced. So that kind of schedule, which keeps resource in mind everywhere and changes duration as per the changes in resources, is known as new tasks are effort driven. But 80%, again, you will not be required in most of the companies to prepare that schedule, but we will prepare both kinds of schedules. So currently I'm not taking it, but when we require to prepare a resource based schedule which changes the durations as per resources, then I will take on this option. Rest all these options will always be take the task, always honor their constant dates. Yes, we want the schedule to honor their dates, show that scheduled tasks have estimated durations, etc. All these things are small. This will keep always open. Now, if there are any warnings, for example, there is only one carpenter and today he's being overutilized. That is, he's being utilized in 3 different activities. So MSP will show you warning that, sir, you have only one carpenter. How you have assigned that one carpenter to 3 activities? It is not practically possible for him to work on 3 activities parallelly. So it will show you such warnings. So we'll always keep this tick open. And we'll always tick on calculate project after each edit. We'll keep it as on. So automatically MSP will be calculating the project duration parallelly, side by side. Okay. Now all these updating task status resource, yes. So we want, if there are any errors and any updation, MSP updates it automatically. Excuse me. So these things will keep on tick. So now the schedule settings are changed as per our company's requirement. Okay, now next is proofing settings. These are normal, English settings. I will not go into detail. If you want them to be uppercase, small case, this is just like Excel or Word or Notes. Okay, this is just like our mobile, our keypad. So there's nothing to learn. Save where you want your project file to be saved. And yeah, auto save in every 10 minutes. See, if you are staying in a place where electricity is an issue, so auto save in 5 minutes we will do something like that. These are basic settings. These are not the technical settings. Sir, when we will provide certificate? See, certificate for that, the people from ProTrainee will contact you. When we will receive certificate, I do not have idea about that, but I'll explain it to you in detail in just a minute. Give me 1 minute and I'll explain it to you. Then these are the language changes, English, Hindi, whatever language you want. Then these are the advanced options, but these are also like how many times you want undo, etc. But technical part is this. What is the rate? See, 0.00 per hour it is coming because we had kept up to 2 decimal places. Okay, so these are all normal things like English. See, here you will check. Display options for the project. Minutes will shown as MIN, hours, HR, days as day, work plus month. These are the short forms, abbreviations. Okay, these are the basic settings. Now you can customize this ribbon. Now this ribbon that you are seeing here, you can customize. If you want this, you add here. Okay, customize. For example, in view, you want to add. So like these things you can add, you can remove. This is the customizing this tab. This will again later see in detail. And then this is quick access bar. See, in Excel, PowerPoint, in all the latest versions of Microsoft Documents, this is what a quick access bar is. This is the quick access bar. So you can edit this quick access bar from here. What things you want in this quick access bar, you can add. Okay, for example, email, you want to, these things you can add and you can press OK. See this email, this things attached here. So these are the shortcuts that you want. So this is the just the beginning of the MSP. Okay, but we are done with the time. This is the screen. These are the tabs. This is just the small beginning of MSP. I'll just switch to the presentation again for a minute. Yeah, these were the settings, the changes that we did in settings. So actually, we come to an end with a small webinar. This was just a very small webinar for you guys to understand that why we should learn MSP, what are the uses of MSP, why planning is important, why calculating time and cost is important. And I just gave a small brief about MSP, but we are actually taking at ProTrainee, I will be the instructor. We are taking a 21 days session which will be 1 hour daily on Microsoft project, and it will be on an advanced level. The topics that we will cover in 21 days, it will just take a minute and I'll explain it to you guys. First, we will see all the basics of project planning. That is what we saw today. Planning, activity, method statement, tracking, the definitions, and what basic MSP. Then the history of MSP, uses of MSP, these small things we saw today. Now, from the third thing, uses of all the tabs that you guys saw here, all these tabs, this we'll see step by step. We will see functions and uses of all these tabs in detail. That is file, task, resource, report, project, view, and format tab. Then the most important thing we will learn before starting any project, how a project calendar is finalized. That is, what are your daily working times, what are your working weeks, entering holidays. That is, for example, Republic Day, Independence Day, Holi, Diwali, Eid, Christmas, New Year, how you will enter those holidays so that those days are not counted in your schedule. Okay, if you do not enter the holidays, then you will always have delays because you didn't enter the holidays in the MSP, which actually were holidays in your real life at your site. Those days were not working, non-working, but you didn't enter those non-working days or holidays in MSP. So MSP is taking those days as working because MSP does not know that Eid is a holiday, Diwali is a holiday, Christmas is a holiday. So you need to enter you need to finalize a project calendar beforehand. Then how we will create tasks or activities, how we will create resources, how we will assign cost, that is costing, how we will calculate the costing of each resources. Then these resources, carpenters, fitters, material, concrete, steel, etc., we will assign to the activities or the task that we have created. Then we will perform resource leveling and resource smoothing. That is, if we will check that whether same resources being utilized at 2-3 places, or today I am requiring 50 carpenters, tomorrow I am requiring only 25 carpenters. So in real life this is not possible. Okay, that you have to level the resources. You have to see that all the labors are utilized. You cannot in real life, theoretically in MSP you can do whatever you want. You can show today 50 carpenters, today 30 carpenters required, but in real life you cannot do all that at site. You cannot keep some labors non-working every day. So you have to level and smooth the resources, that we will see. Then we will set up the project milestones that we want to achieve, and we will finalize a complete schedule. Then we will set up a project baseline. Then we will create WBS, that is work breakdown structure of different activities. Then we will go into detail of costing, that is assigning cost to resources, cost rate table, cost resources, project cost, and budgeted cost. Then we will track this project daily. Once the schedule is prepared, then we will learn how we can track a project. Basis of project tracking, automatically updating the project, manually updating a project, first by using work hour data, or manually updating the project using percentage work completion data, and dealing with delay problems. We will see complete project tracking. Then we will go into the most difficult and most advanced part of MSP and planning and project management, that is earned value analysis. First, we will see the theoretical part, what actually earned value analysis is. Then we will learn how we can do earned value analysis through MSP. EVA using percentage complete value and EVA using physical complete value. We will see both of these things. Then we will see different customizations in MSP, changing colors and formatting, so that making the look better for your management. Then we will see how different reports are prepared in MSP. Preparation of various reports generated in MSP for sharing with project manager and team. Okay, this comes under project monitoring and control. Now, then we will prepare 2 complete schedules in this 21 days class. One will be based on tasks will honor their constraints and new tasks are not effort driven, that is not resource based scheduling. And second will be effort driven, that is once resource will change, duration of the activities will also change. So we will prepare both of these schedules. One, we will take a construction of a commercial project. One, we will take a 10-story residential building. Then I will give you guys an assignment to complete a small G+4 floors commercial complex. Once you will complete those assignment, in the last lecture, we will discuss the assignment. We will discuss the difference between MSP and Primavera. And also I will tell you guys some important interview questions related to MSP, because see, if I assume that you guys are completing this 21-day course of Pro Trainee, then you will receive a certificate. and you will attach that certificate in your resume. So as soon as you will attach a certificate in your resume, the interviewer will start asking questions about MSP. So I will tell you 10 to 15 important interview questions that theoretically things or small short tricks, etc., which are being asked in the interview, you need to remember. So this is the complete syllabus. These classes we are planning from 25th May. Anyone who wants to register for these classes, you guys can enter into contact Pro Trainee and you can enroll for this course. This is a 21-day course, 1 hour daily. Timing will be as per your requirement, and you will be given the complete data, the presentations that I prepared, that you will be given to you. The lectures, all these lectures will get recorded. For example, you are working from home and one day your work load is more, or you have to do some assignment or homework, anything, and you are unable to attend our lecture, then you will get this recorded lectures also. Okay, but the certificate you will get once you are able to submit that small assignment to us. The link is also being given for your working. So from here, yeah, please share a link to download MSP. Yes, I will share the link to download MSP. See, free link for MSP, free student version is available. That will run in your computer for 1 month, 1.5 months. That you can easily Google and download. But still, I will share the link. Also, the major difference between Primavera and MS Project is costing. Tracking of costing and preparation of reports is much easier in Primavera, but its interface is much poorer as compared to Microsoft. There are 10, 12 major differences, but again, that will require 1 hour to explain. So I won't be able to explain right now, but the major difference is costing is much better. The price of the course, sir, please, you can, for that, ma'am, you can contact these people from Pro Trainee. I have not 100% idea about the price of the course. Okay, you can contact the people from Pro Trainee regarding the pricing. But if anyone wants to pursue planning as a career, then MSP is the first requirement that you should have if any day you want to be a planner or you want to be a project manager. Okay, so this course is highly recommended. Okay, so that's all, folks. I'll stop the share now. I hope everyone's families are safe in COVID. Thank you very much. Thank you for patiently listening to this 1 hour webinar on MSP. I hope you guys enroll for the project and hope to see you soon in this 21-day course. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Stay blessed. Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone.